cost and management accounting. Interestingly, at number of places you will find out cost accounting is separate, management accounting is separate. Sometime to check the advantage of nearness of the two and nature of the two, which is overlapping in nature, these nature we bring together, it is cost and management accounting. Academically, sometimes we say that by squeezing these two, cost and management accounting, we are creating a space for one additional information, one additional paper, so that you should have more information available to you to run the business, right. So, two important terms are there. First one is called cost and second one is called management. Accounting word is very common, you all are aware of. So, today I am going to discuss about some of the terminology, the glossary, which will make you understand why we need it and who need it most. Not necessarily it is available to you as an outsider, and that is a big challenge also. Suppose you buy a product, price has been decided, whether you buy a pen which may be of 5 rupees or a car which may be of 50 lakh rupees. My question is, what is the cost of production of the company? And we do not know. Company keep on crying, but every time when they make annual report and declare their profitability, profit is very high. And when profit is very high, and how come you are not performing good? Is a question mark or not? From social angle, when we start looking this subject, we look into how much profit is too much profit. Yes or not? Suppose we deposit amount in the bank and we are getting somewhere closer to 7 or 8% of return, and company declares they have a profitability of 48%. So, how come a 48% profitability will come to a company until unless they are charging very high price? If you have a margin that much profit, so be at least socially sensitive, reduce the price, is or not? Bina price hike kiya, how you can be in a position to earn that much additional profit? Or if you say price is normal, then you must not be paying properly to your employee, to your rest of the resources. Your expenditure is squeezed, exploiting the people, calling for 8 hours and getting work done for 12 hours, which is normally happenings. So, this is a matter of great concern. Now, we know that, for example, you know Ray-Ban glass. What is the normal price of that glass? 7 to 8,000. Now, a question arises that really it is that much of the content cost of that material of that, and so far as R&D is concerned, it is a very older company. So, R&D must have been written off by this time, is or not? Whether it is a cobalt, it is there, or infrared and ultraviolet red absorbents are there, but how much should be the price, and especially when you have a volume of transactions, right or not? Yes, and when you go inside, you come to know they have 400% profit margin. So, this question also comes on the basis of ethics. Should it be there or not? How much you should be charging? Called premium class. So, all those are the certain terminology, but before that we have to have one important information, how to decide about price of a product. That is a challenge, and that is the first important part of any management. Whatever you are producing, whether goods or service. आप एक रेस्टोरेंट भी खोलते हो, पर प्लेट क्या चार्ज करोगे? मेनू डिसाइड करोगे तो कैसे डिसाइड करोगे? So, you have to evaluate that cost first, and some cost will be direct, some cost will be indirect, may not be visible, but you have to count it. So, can you think of a condition in which you do not have understanding of costing and still you are in a position to make a price, and that price will be a justified price? So, that understanding is really required. Now, so that is why cost accounting is very important and important for internal management. It is very important. An entire world has got cost management specialists, even including in India. No, cost accountants are there. So, our purpose is not to extend to that level of what cost accountant, but at least we should have a fair understanding what exactly the cost accounting is, how to decide about cost. Now, question is, knowing the cost, is it sufficient for management? After knowing the cost, we have to act upon. If cost is high, minimize it, right?
Yes, sir.
That is what required. Cost has to be minimized. Now, question is how you will come to know cost is high or not? What ought to be the right price? Some reference is required or some method of calculation is required. Normally, people compare it if any price is already available, a reference is available, that preparation is there. When you say a restaurant is very costly, means somewhere some little cheaper restaurant is there in your mind. Yes or not? अगर सब के सब महंगा हो, कोई भी 1000 रुपीज से कम का प्लेट ना बेचता हो, तो आपको 1000 रुपीज ही सस्ता लगने लगेगा, है नहीं? और आप कन्विंस भी हो जाओगे कि ना यही रेट होता है. That's the way it is. So what is really required is that we have to understand how much you are charging, how much you are making, is it a justified one or not. So time being, you have to start thinking bigger way. Take the advantage of your financial accounting understandings. We are not going to make here any journal entry, no ledger posting. We are going to talk about whatever the way through which when you are producing, what kind of cost component is going to be there. कितना charge होना चाहिए. Now suppose you are providing service, how to price your service. Say you become a freelancer, a consultant. I invited you, oh, you are a finance expert. Now please suggest, help. A company is there who is, let's say, doctor is there who has discovered a very good, who has innovated a good equipment, maybe for neurology, maybe for some testing, and wanted to launch it as a mass production, and asking for what kind of techniques should be adopted, what kind of pricing should be there, how to bring it up. That doctor is good at the test tube test, but how it is going to be a commercial exercise, you have to prepare. So if I ask you, if suppose I am that doctor who has developed one product which is good, self-test, related to any kind of a stone or any kind of things in nephron and exercise is there, or maybe through app you can check yourself. Now so many things are there. Now your watch, a smart watch, is not only watch, it is a medical device also. Your oxygen level and blood pressure and everything it keeps on measuring. Clearly? Now question is, a new app has come, how to decide what kind of revenue generation model should be adopted, how you will decide about that. So you have to understand the cost benefit associated to it. एक बिजनेस पर्पस है, ऑब्जेक्टिव क्लियर होना चाहिए. Of course, time being, one can in a very kiddish way can say that, sir, our objective of learning is to pass the examination. Paper is there, we have to write, but after passing the examination, if you drop that paper from your brain, you will not be a good manager. Passing the examination is only a kind of a pseudo self-satisfaction that I am through, right? But actual examination will be when you will be in the company, when you will be in the industry. At that point of time, you have to decide. So let's start understanding what cost is. Cost is the resources consumed. Whatever resources you are consuming, that is cost. Resources consumed is cost. And these resources, one thing which basically, unfortunately, most of the time normal book misses or normal people undermine, that is the time resource. Time is the very important cost concept. But since it is not explicitly mentioned, so thou time resource is there, we use this resource in measurement during the calculation of a project or activity, but normally not in cost accounting, which ought to be, which has to be. एक टाइम भी बहुत important resource है. Time has to be used. So what we say, time, especially in the field of finance, it is one of the important cost. So if suppose you borrow something for 2 years, some amount, your interest applicable will be only for 2 years. But if you delay in your payment and let us say third year is there, so it is going to be additional cost. Right or not? What is a normal project exercise, which is I say, suppose you have a project of 1000 crore, any infrastructure project. Government announced 1000 crore rupees is the initial investment of the project. कोई फ्लाईओवर बनाना है, ब्रिज बनाना है, कुछ भी करना है, आप एक assume करके ले सकते हो amount. Now this 1000 crore normally say at finance at the rate of 10% for ease of calculation. 10% as ease of calculation. Now project should get completed in 2 years of time, but because of some other reason, maybe simple inefficiency or ignorance, project is not completed in 2 years of time and it is taking you 3 years. I think we all witness this kind of project where it has to be originally completed in a period is not completed. Yes or not? Yes, now what is that? Same structure, same number of labor component, but 1 year delay from financial angle. What is the additional cost? At the rate of 10%, 100 crore it has gone up. And that 100 crore we should have used for something else. Yes or not? Yes, sir. एक उसके ब्यूटिफिकेशन में काम आ जाता, उसके लाइटिंग हो जाती. Means time is very important, very, very important concept. And it is at every stage. So whenever we consider that, don't forget this part. This is my first submission, first information, first take home to you. Time is very important. And in a real way, even for you people also, time is very important. Now come to another aspect. Resources consumed. Resources consumed means it is something like where you will find out you are taking in. So two factors of productions are there. Factors of production. One is called primary factor, another is called secondary factor. Primary factors of productions are there, secondary factors of production. That primary factors of product, first I will take secondary factors. Secondary factors of productions are those factors, those components, those resources which are meant for that very activity. Whereas primary factors are common to all, where you must have studied in your economics, land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship. These 4 factors has to be there, and these 4 factors are cost also. Yes or not? Yes, sir. There will be a land cost. Land cost means natural resource cost, which you may call it rental. Or if rental is not there, you may have your own, so there will be a cost, right? Indirectly, you may be charging depreciation for that, which you have already studied in your financial accounting. That's a cost. Depreciation is non-cash, doesn't mean it is not cost. It is cost. When you will visualize, when you will realize that depreciation is a cost, when after 10 years, suppose life is 10 years, after 10 years you require replacement. And if you have not properly provisioned for depreciation, you will be at that again same, a square where in the beginning you were there, from where to get funding. Right or not? So that is very important. Similarly, labor. So, land has got rent, labor has got wages, capital has got interest, and this has got profit. These are the primary factors. These are secondary is raw material, fuel, and depending upon different assets, it will change as organization changes. Petroleum prices has gone up, it will not impact too much on University of Delhi, because transportation cost is very small, but it will affect the DTC. It will affect all those transportation, cargo company. It will affect your courier company, right? So, that is secondary factor. Now, question is in primary factor, how many portions, what kind of different components which is to be taken care of. What price should be more, or who should be paid better? Land should be paid better, labor should be paid better, capital should be paid better, and or entrepreneurship should be paid better. What do you feel? Which one should be paid better? किसको ज़्यादा पेमेंट मिलना चाहिए? Nature of the business. Very good. Nature of business will decide. Okay. So, some more example. It is very loving to have answer from your side. Please go ahead. Very rightly said. I appreciate. Nature of business. Now, even same business can also have little variation. Say, I will start first from the land factor. Land means time being you understand location. I want to open a small kiosk, chai wala, and in the university corner. मेरा लैंड सस्ता मिल जाएगा मुझे, ऐसा नॉट? एक काउंटर यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट आते हैं, उनको एक ब्रेक में चाय मिलना चाहिए, यूनिवर्सिटी में थोड़ा 2-4 एप्लीकेशन वगैरह मूव करेगा, एंड देन इट विल बी देयर, एंड इट माइट बी पॉसिबल फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट आई विल गेट दैट कियोस्क. Electricity also on subsidized rate. But suppose I want to open on Terminal 3, Indira Gandhi International Airport. Will it be same rental? No. Same size? That is basically location. Land got changed. Right or not? It's basically you look into how location becomes important. Similarly, location versus now land versus labor. Labor may be important. In basic fundamentals, only one information I want to share with you is that whenever we talk about labor or any resource for this matter, it is the degree of availability decides the cost of that factor. जो जितना आसानी से अवेलेबल होगा उसका प्राइस उतना कम होगा, जिसको इकोनॉमिक्स में सब्स्टिट्यूशन इफेक्ट कहते हैं. क्या कहते हैं? सब्स्टिट्यूशन इफेक्ट. सो व्हाट यू हैव टू हैव नाउ इज सिंपल लेबर इज देयर, a clerk is there, anyone can substitute. You ask for 100 will be ready for interview, but is again super specialist scientist is there. You'll find out limited people will be there. Rather, you have to request someone whom you know, please come and do the needful for us. Right or not? That's the way it works. And they have a very good reward, good payment. So, how your, and whatever word we use in economics called payment is actually for giver, it is a cost. Right? For giver, it is a cost. So, cost and payment are two different sides of same factor. जिसको मैं अपना सैलरी अपना इनकम मानता हूं वो मेरी कंपनी के लिए कॉस्ट है. It works like that. So costing is, that's why I always bring economics also into picture, so that you can have a very clear understanding how it is going to work. Now question is, what is the objective of business? Objective of business to earn high profit. Profit बढ़ाना है ना? And profit है क्या? Profit is revenue minus cost. So cost has to be minimum, then only it has to be, profit will be higher, profit will be more. Without that it can't be possible. So before minimizing it, before controlling it, we have to understand the nature of cost, variety of cost, different attributes of the cost, and methodology of determination of the cost. That also has to be set. अब जैसे मैं कहता हूँ अभी कि ये एक हॉल है जिसमें हम लोग अभी कंबाइंड क्लास ले रहे हैं, and there are other classrooms also you have already seen. What do you feel? Both should have the same rent? क्यों? Area. So you decided your one factor that area should determine the rental. Yes or not? Yes, what else? Other facilities. Other facilities could also be there. A room without any audio visual system and room with all furnitures will have the same rent? No. Means this is what the method we are going to use. Okay, what are the factors? So you understand, the moment you involve yourself, it is not a mug up. Don't ask in future that, sir, kahan se padhe? Right? There is a complete connect. That's the way we have to decide. So these all factors has to be counted. Interest सबसे ज़्यादा कहाँ होता है? Where is the high? What is interest? Interest is the cost of the money borrowed. Where it will be high? In which country it will be high? Less developed country. Very good. Country wise. So Japan may have a lower interest rate. India has higher interest rate. Why it is so? Because India has got less savings. So less savings means less money available for borrowings. Right or not? Here less savings, so less supply of money, less capital is available in the market, and for a limited capital so many borrowers are there. So what is the demand and supply? Price goes up, and interest is nothing but price for money. Within country, let's confine it now. Within India, all kind of borrowings has got same interest rate? No, sir. No. Very good. Nature of risk involved. आप लोग तो बहुत intelligent हो. It's really good. Nature of risk also decide about it. The risk calculation you will study afterward in some other subject, and how to decide about the cost, and in the finance also you have to study called cost of capital. But here we know that these are the factors which has to be decided. Now there is another way through which cost can be further classified: direct cost and indirect cost. What is direct cost? Direct relation. Direct relation is the cost. That is called direct cost. We can have, suppose 1 unit of product has taken half kg of raw material, so half kg is a direct cost associated to it. Clear? 2 hours of labor has got applied, 2 hours of labor is a direct cost associated to it. A special container is needed, so container cost is going to be direct cost. That's a cost. Where per unit it changes, and easily you can assign per unit. You can relate it per unit. हर यूनिट के साथ आप उसको अटैच कर सकते हो. That is direct. And when you don't attach per unit, then indirect cost, overheads. अब यहाँ अभी आपके 20, 25, 50, 100 भी और आ जाएंगे. मैं लाइटिंग नहीं बदलने जा रहा हूँ. लाइट का कॉस्ट उतना ही रहेगा मेरा. राइट? All other facilities cost is going to be same. That is not changing. So your direct and indirect cost basically make a difference. So what is the best utilization of it? Make in such a way, arrange your infrastructure in such a way that even indirect cost should become direct in nature. ये management style है. That's why management accounting also becomes very important. अगर मैं ऐसा करूं, इतना आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंट बनाऊं कि हर सीट पे एक लाइटिंग होता चला जाए और जैसे बैठो लाइट जल जाए, होता है ना आज के डेट में. और बिल्कुल कॉस्ट उतना ही जितना कि यूज हो रहा है. We call it a smart rooms, right? We can create it. A cost reduction approach. कितना reduce कर सकते हैं? That's the way we can decide about it, and that benefit will convert, that benefit will get transmitted to others. So that's a costing. So direct and indirect is also there. So direct raw material, direct labor, direct overhead. Indirect raw material, indirect labor, indirect overhead. All three has got two ways, which decides how it is going to be. So how to compute? That's very important. Computation becomes an important question. Okay, so I hope you are getting what I am trying to point out.
Yes, sir.
Are we all on the same page?
Yes, sir.
This is the way through which you can start understanding the costing. Then various methodology, and all those formulas are very simple formula. You yourself have just started making it, okay, if suppose we have to be very particular and let's say room size has to be counted, then we can count how many benches are there, and per bench if I can decide the cost, and after that 10 benches are there, so 10 times of that per unit cost, and 20 benches are there or 200 benches are there, accordingly we can decide, right? That's the way we can set it. But in addition to that, one more additional cost will be coming up. Overhead, indirect overhead. What will be there? 4 worker is coming working, let them work. 10 worker is working, let them work. Now up to 20 workers, let them work. The moment 20 workers has got completed, you require one supervisor who will not work, right? So suppose per worker is going to produce you 10 units per day. So 20 worker will be giving you how much? 200 units, right? 200 units. आप क्लियर कट लेबर का कॉस्ट निकाल सकते हैं, लेकिन अब रूल कहता है क्या? रूल नहीं, आप अपने मैनेजमेंट में ऐसा करना चाह रहे हैं कि एवरी 20 वर्कर्स यू विल रिक्वायर वन सुपरवाइजर. विल सुपरवाइजर डायरेक्टली प्रोड्यूस? नो. और सुपरवाइजर की सैलरी एक नॉर्मल लेबर से ज्यादा होगा. सो एक एडिशनल कॉस्ट इज गोइंग टू बी देयर. और यहाँ पे लगता है अगर हमारे सारे वर्कर अच्छे हों एंड सेल्फ कोई सुपरवाइजर की जरूरत ना हो तो कितना अच्छा होता है, नहीं है? एक सुपरवाइजर का कॉस्ट, और अगर 20 के हिसाब से अगर चलें और अगर हमारे पास 2000 वर्कर है तो कितने सुपरवाइजर हो जाएंगे? 100 सुपरवाइजर हो जाएंगे. हाँ, और उनके ऊपर एक फिर मैनेजर चाहिए, राइट? एक हायरार्की क्रिएट होने लगता है. ना आप देखोगे, आप कहोगे एचआर मैनेजर तो डायरेक्टली तो कंट्रीब्यूट कर नहीं रहा है. एंड स्लोली as you increase your level of operation, nature of operation, variety of operation, you'll find out complexity starts. अब इतना ही नहीं, अब प्रोडक्ट तो बन गया, कॉस्ट बन गया, अब एडवर्टीजमेंट भी देना है. How people will come to know what you are making? Without advertisement, it will not be possible, right? अब एडवर्टीजमेंट देने के लिए आपको how much is too much, again another question. And when you start giving advertisement, advertisement is very costly. And a cost starts not at the time of giving advertisement, rather preparing advertisement itself is a very good exercise. एक बहुत सिंपल सी बात मैं मॉनिटर करता रहा कि एयरटेल का एडवर्टीजमेंट है, was that it had been, or even for say Vodafone advertisement had been very effective. If you really, you love to listen that, love to see that advertisement. And somehow the Birla Group never ever able to get a right kind of advertisement idea. They never had the idea how to give the good advertisement. Yes or not? Yes. And it has got impact on the business success. पैसा वो भी खर्च कर रहे हैं. बेचारा अभिषेक बच्चन थक गया बोलते बोलते, इफ यू डोंट हैव आइडिया गेट आइडिया. सुना होगा आपने, लेकिन कोई उसकी बात नहीं माना क्योंकि उसको भी आइडिया नहीं था, राइट? तो ये जो है ना, दिस इज अ कॉस्ट इज देयर. अच्छा, कहीं गलती से कुछ आप दे दिए, एक नया कॉस्ट स्टार्ट हो गया, किसी को बुरा लगा, जाके आपके ऊपर केस कर दिया, लीगल डिस्प्यूट. Now that is nothing to do with your production, yes or not? Yes, sir. But big battle. Are you aware of Google has been fined in India? How much is the total fine amount? 1,320 crore. How one name? Yes. तो अब ये तो बैठे बिठाए एक नया कॉस्ट आ गया. ऐसे हम लोग वी ऑल नो दैट फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, वो कमा लेगा, दैट विल हैव द इनकम, बट इन न्यू कॉस्ट हैज कम and you have to comply with. Any problem is there with your employee, with your plant, with your machinery, with your product, sometime recalling of the product takes place. You made the product and product was defective and it is non-recyclable, then in that case it is wastage. And if you are maintaining that exercise, understand what I am trying to expose you, that cost is a simple word for alphabet, but has got a very heavy meaning as you expand. As you expand, keep on increasing, keep on increasing. This is the what, the moment you start reading it, you will find out variety of operations are there. But one biggest limitation in the entire study environment, academic environment is, you don't have a so called easily available cost sheet of any company. नहीं करता है, compulsory नहीं है ना legally. जितनी आसानी से आपको एनुअल रिपोर्ट मिल जाएगा, कॉस्ट शीट नहीं मिलता है. कॉस्ट शीट मिले तो पता चल जाएगा ना कितना प्रॉफिट ले रहा है, वो तो ओवरऑल एक कॉस्ट बता देता है, कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड. भाई बाइफरकेट करके तो बताओ, नहीं बताता, कॉमन पब्लिक डोमेन में अवेलेबल नहीं है, तो ये पहला चैलेंज होता है. बट स्टिल यू शुड स्टार्ट ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड एटलीस्ट इन द ब्रॉड कैटेगरीज ऑफ बिजनेस what kind of cost is very important. Say if it is a hotel industry, what kind of costing is there? If it is a manufacturing organization, FMCG, what kind of costing is there? If it is a aviation sector, now we know we have got a great faith in Tata that Air India will not only transform, will make a new milestone, achieve a new milestone in the global environment, ready for global competition. Yes or not? Yes, faith है ना? कैसे फेथ है? यही तो एयर इंडिया इतने दिन से गवर्नमेंट के अंदर रन कर रहा था, और सुनते हैं गवर्नमेंट के अंदर जो रन करता है उसको बहुत फैसिलिटी रहती है. तो फैसिलिटी के साथ जो नहीं कर पाया वो अब किसी प्राइवेट हैंड में कैसे करेगा? what kind of a feeling, what kind of a knowledge gives you this faith, this confidence that no, Tata will run in a very effective way? The good quality management, right or not? Yes, understanding the cost very effectively. I'll keep on sharing some of the case studies also in due course. Some good pit cases are there, like Delhi Metro itself is a classical example for number of items where cost has been reduced dramatically without compromising the quality of the production. And why I am taking you to that elevations, that even if suppose in future you got a very applied kind of questions in examination, you should be in a position to answer that. तभी तो top करोगे. Yes, sir. Right? So direct and indirect cost, two components we have to view it. Now what is cost versus investment? That's another important point. What is cost and what is investment? How it is different from each other? Whenever we talk about cost, resources consumed is the cost. But investment is transformation of money or transformation of fund from one form to another form. That is called investment. जब आप invest करते हो तो आपका सिर्फ form of asset बदलता है, right? Form of asset change हो जाता है. That is called transformation. For example, you have say 10 lakh rupees in your bank account. So when you prepare your annual report, say you prepare your balance sheet, own balance sheet, what will happen? How you will show your balance sheet if you have 10 lakh rupees in your bank account? Cash and cash equivalent. Cash है, bank है, ठीक है. किधर जाएगा? Asset side जाएगा, liability side जाएगा? एसेट साइड, लाइबिलिटी साइड क्या जाएगा? इक्विटी हो गया, आपका पैसा है, यही होगा ना. सो यू विल राइट लाइबिलिटी साइड इक्विटी, ओनर्स फंड, and asset side you have 10 lakh rupees bank balance, bank account. Now out of that 10 lakh rupees you bought 8 lakh rupees car by making down payment. 8 लाख रुपये का चेक इशू किया, डाउन पेमेंट किया और कार आ गया. क्लियर? अब आप फिर से बैलेंस शीट अपना बनाइए. अब कैसे बनाएंगे? कार 8 lakhs 2 lakhs बैंक बैलेंस, दोनों का दोनों एसेट साइड है. और इक्विटी इधर लायबिलिटी में चेंज नहीं आया. इसका मतलब वन एसेट गॉट ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड इनटू अनदर एसेट and it is balanced. Clear or not? This is transformation. That's why I said that investment is nothing but it is transformation. कैश रखा हुआ है, बैंक में डाल दिया, ट्रांसफॉर्म हो गया. बैंक से घर बना दिए, ट्रांसफॉर्म हो गया. कार खरीद लिए, ट्रांसफॉर्म हो गया. That is transformation. So investment is transformation. There is no cost yet involved. There is no cost involved. But suppose I say 8 lakh rupees car you are going to buy by making 2 lakh rupees down payment and 6 lakh rupees financing from bank. 6 लाख का लोन ले लिया, 2 लाख अपना डाउन पेमेंट किया, 8 लाख की कार आ गई. How you will make your balance sheet? लायबिलिटी कितना हो जाएगा आपका? 6 लाख लायबिलिटी. पहले से ओनर्स इक्विटी कितना है? 10 lakhs. कितना हो गया टोटल? 16 lakhs. और इधर एसेट साइड में क्या होगा? 2 लाख तो आपका उसमें कार में गया, तो इसका मतलब कैश कितना बचा? 8 lakhs. और कार कितने का? 8 lakhs. 8 + 8 16 lakhs हो गया. यही बना रहे हैं ना? देखिए, आप गौर करके देखिए कि अभी आपने एक लायबिलिटी क्रिएट कर लिया. अच्छा, इज इट ए फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट फाइनेंसिंग और कॉस्ट इज देयर? And if there is an interest rate, now the moment interest will appear, now you need at the end of year income statement also. आगे टच करना शुरू किया इनकम स्टेटमेंट. जब तक एसेट में खेल हो रहा था, आपको इनकम स्टेटमेंट की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी थी. क्लियर? There is another cost also. Wear and tear, yes. Depreciation. Depreciation ultimately कहाँ जाएगा? इनकम स्टेटमेंट में. ठीक है. और वापस बैलेंस शीट में क्यों आएगा? बिकॉज दैट इज यू आर नॉट पेइंग समबडी, इसलिए इसको रिजर्व क्रिएट करोगे. आई होप यू मस्ट बी अंडरस्टैंडिंग हाउ प्रैक्टिकल इट इज, हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू मेक दैट. सो whenever we say cost and investment, it is two important points. One more good example I'll share with you that will help you to understand how cost could vary for the same asset. I bought a car of 8 lakh rupees. He also bought a car of 8 lakh rupees. Both same brand, same car. I was also thrilled. Went to temple, had the puja and fun ride. Went for dinner कि चलो अपनी गाड़ी से आज नई कार खरीदे. And maybe generally this thrills comes when first car is there. After that, he also came with that. For him it is there. We all started talking. We both had got same. फिर finally a matter came. सर आपने फाइनेंसिंग कहाँ से करवाई? मैंने कहा HDFC से 8.2% रेट. He said सर मैंने तो SBI से करवाया, मुझे 7.9 पे मिल गया. And now थोड़ा सा मुझे लगा now his car is cheaper than mine. What varied? Not investment component, it is a cost component. Yes or not? अब इनका कार था तो सेम कलर, सेम ब्रांड, सेम मॉडल, बट स्टिल इनका अब चीपर लगने लगा. मेरा कॉस्टलियर हो गया कार, जस्ट बिकॉज माई फाइनेंसिंग इज नाउ एट 8.2% इंस्टेड ऑफ 7.9%. इज इट क्लियर? अगली बार से मैं सोच के चला कि अब जो खरीदूंगा सबसे पूछ के लूंगा कौन कितने पे फाइनेंस कर रहा है. And that becomes very important of source of financing when you look upon what kind of prerequisites are there so that your cost of financing can be lower and your things will raise up. Is it clear? A biggest challenge right now coming, though I'm giving you overview, that's why I'm ready to deviate to that extent. Biggest challenge is coming that labor versus machine has been a one of important part. And that is what the one side from traditional angle we look, it is going to create a kind of unemployment, whereas another side the higher look into that, कौन इनके नखरे बर्दाश्त करे, कल सुबह जब मीटिंग के एजेंडा के साथ पीपीटी तैयार करना होगा तो फोन आएगा, सर आई एम नॉट वेल टुडे, आई एम ऑन लीव. कम से कम मशीन तो लीव पे नहीं रहेगा. And that is the reason lot of automation is taking place. Automation is actually a process of reduction of the cost. वो तो मशीन का ही तो हिस्सा है ना. ठीक है, आप सीखने को तैयार नहीं होगे, पीछे बातें करेंगे, मशीन को सिखाना शुरू करेंगे, बहुत अच्छे से सीखता है. इसीलिए मैनुअल इंटेलिजेंस की जगह क्या आ गया? आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस. आपको लर्न कराने पे आप लर्न करने, मैन लर्निंग इज वेरी बिकमिंग टफ बिकॉज मैन इज अ वाइल्ड, प्रीफर टू सिट ऑन द आउटसाइड इंस्टेड ऑफ क्लासरूम. मशीन लर्निंग इज गुड. मशीन कहता है जितना सिखाओ सीख लेंगे, और डीप लर्निंग के लिए भी तैयार है. किसकी गलती है? आप मौका दे रहे हो मशीन को आपके पास आने का. आप ऑनेस्टली काम करो, अच्छे से काम करो, देखो कहाँ कोई आएगा बीच में. मशीन भी आपका स्लेव बन के काम करेगा. आप मशीन को मास्टर बनने का मौका दे रहे हो, बन रहे हैं मास्टर. किसी को मौका मिलेगा मास्टर बनेगा. दैट्स अ फैक्ट. तो वाई एंड एनीवन विल प्रिफर कि आराम से आप कॉस्ट को मिनिमाइज कर लो. दैट कुड बी सेट सो दैट अल्टीमेटली इट कीप ऑन वर्किंग. गो अहेड विद दैट. नाउ कॉस्ट वर्सेज इन्वेस्टमेंट के बाद एक और कॉस्ट है, एक्सपेंडिचर वर्सेस एक्सपेंस. What is expenditure? What is expense? Okay, fine. And what is expense?
Any expense is expenditure. Any expense is an expenditure.
Any expense is an expenditure. Okay, very good. तो expense और expenditure में फिर difference क्या हुआ?
Expense is basically for the specific purpose. And expenditure is the overall expense of all the purposes.
Okay, someone more also?
Expenditure is any cost incurred for the purpose of generation of revenue, whereas expense is that part of expenditure whose benefit has been expired as well as consumed. Expenditure includes expense plus as well loss.
Okay, very good. The second point has been, first point may not necessarily be to that extent right related to revenue generation or not, because I ultimately move into that everything is meant for revenue generation directly or indirectly. Maybe not necessarily now, in future, right? But yes, a very simple definition you can write is expense is exhaustive expenditure. The expenditure which got exhausted is your expense. Expense is irreversible, expenditure is reversible. Expenditure is reversible. Suppose कीजिए आप यहाँ से मुंबई जाना है, फ्लाइट बुक कर लिया, 100% कैंसलेशन रिफंड है, डेटेड 15 अप्रैल. आपने पेमेंट कर दिया, आपके एक्सपेंडिचर हो गए. दिस इज व्हाट? एक्सपेंडिचर. आपको जब ट्रैवल करना था, किसी कारणवश आप ट्रैवल नहीं किए, एक दिन पहले ही आप उसको कैंसिल कर दिया टिकट. रूल क्या कहता है? 100% रिफंडेबल. पैसा वापस आ गया आपके पास. क्लियर? एक्सपेंडिचर को रिवर्स कर दिया आपने. लेकिन अगर 15 अप्रैल को ट्रैवल करना है, ट्रैवल कर लिए, लैंड कर दिए, अब आप क्या रिवर्स कर सकते हो उसको? वो एक्सपेंस हो गया. एक्सपेंस इज एग्जॉस्टेड. Very important related to capital cost and revenue cost. There are two terms again. What are those two terms? Capital cost and revenue cost. What is capital cost? It is basically investment. जो मैंने भी term बताया. Making a building, installing a plant, buying a machine is what? It is a capital cost, which is meant for production. But buying raw material is a revenue cost. So differentiation has to be there. But suppose if I am a machine trader, machine is a revenue cost for me. Clear? एक कार डीलर के लिए, कार शोरूम के लिए कार कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर नहीं है, रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर उसका है। ये डिफ्रेंसिएशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, हाउ टू डिसाइड अबाउट। सो डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट, इन्वेस्टमेंट वर्सेस कॉस्ट, expenditure versus expense has to get decided. Now, one more important aspect related to direct and indirect is there. Whenever we talk about cost, inside the cost itself, a question arises that can it be possible that cost is related to period or it is for product? Period cost versus product cost. Period cost and product, first let us talk about product cost and then we will talk about period cost. What is product cost? That is directly related to product. Even sometime indirectly related to product, but it is related to product. But what is period cost? Depreciation is a period cost, very good. Rental is a period cost, good. Even in the labor you will find out two different types are there. Per unit charge you can pay to the worker or otherwise salary. Salary is what? It is a period cost. So product cost versus period cost, it becomes very, very important. And sometime we decide either way whether it should go to product cost or it should go to period cost, we are confused. Confused why I am using the word, because it may not be necessarily very clear which method we should adopt, and a problem starts there. Lot of understanding, and then we look into what law says, what is the guideline is saying, what company act says that कि हमें करना क्या है. Suppose I made 200 units in a month, or let's say 2000 units in a year. I made 2000 units, but by the end of the period only able to sell 1700 units. कितना बेचा? 1700 units. अब क्वेश्चन उठता है कि उस पूरे पीरियड में एक साल में हमने बनाया कितना था? 2000 यूनिट्स. तो जो पूरे 2000 यूनिट पे मैं कॉस्ट डालूं या 1700 पे कॉस्ट डालूं? 2000 पे. 1700 पे क्यों नहीं? क्योंकि बिका तो 1700 है, रेवेन्यू तो उस पीरियड में 1700 पे ही आएगा. क्या बोलो? 2000 यूनिट्स पे है, 1700 यूनिट्स पे नहीं है, लेकिन रेवेन्यू जनरेटेड तो 1700 यूनिट्स से है. और अगर कॉस्ट, यू आर राइट, टाइम बिंग यू आर राइट, रेवेन्यू आपने लिया कितना पे? रेवेन्यू 1700 पे लोगे या 2000 पे लोगे? कॉस्ट किस पे लोगे? 2000 पे या 1700 पे? अब देखो, अभी आपस में फैसला कर लेना. अब बताओ भाई, 1700 पे या 2000 पे? और अगर 2000 पे अगर तुम फिक्स कॉस्ट ले लेते हो तो प्रॉफिट मिनिमाइज होगा या मैक्सिमाइज होगा? मिनिमाइज होगा. तो अब क्वेश्चन उठता है कि ये एक ड्युअलिटी आएगा ना, कंफ्यूजन आएगा ना कि व्हाट टू मेक. I don't want to see my profit should be compromised, and I don't want to declare to my shareholder that sorry dear, this time I have earned lesser profit. Am I clear? तब क्या होगा? अच्छा, इतना ही नहीं, इस डिसीजन से आपका इन्वेंट्री का डिसीजन वेरी कर जाएगा. The stock which 300 will be there at what price? What will be the cost of that and how you are going to count it? Right or not? अगर यहाँ सारा पीरियड कॉस्ट यहाँ एग्जॉस्ट कर लिए तो इन्वेंट्री पे कम कॉस्ट रहेगा, इन्वेंट्री विल बिकम चीपर. और अगर इस पे ज्यादा, अगर इस पे यहाँ पे सिर्फ 1700 लिए, इसका मतलब 300 आइटम्स ऑफ योर इन्वेंट्री विच हैज गॉन, which was produced but not sold, is carrying the fixed cost also on that. Clear? Here I am pausing. I am giving you opportunity to ask any question if you have. Please feel free. Today I am just trying to expose why we have to study it. मैं कोई चैप्टर नहीं पढ़ा रहा हूँ, लेकिन आप लास्ट में जाओगे तो पता चलेगा सारा यूनिट खत्म हो गया. Yes. बेटे, मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन इज नॉट द कॉस्ट. मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन, थोड़ा इंतजार करो, फाइनेंस का कॉन्सेप्ट है डियर. एंटरप्राइज वैल्यू निकालना अलग टेक्निक है डियर, कॉस्टिंग है ही नहीं वहां, है ही नहीं वहां, वैल्यूएशन है. डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज्ड बिटवीन कॉस्टिंग एंड वैल्यूएशन, अदरवाइज तुम हिंडनबर्ग की तरह ही सोचते रह जाओगे. वैल्यू है, वैल्यू अलग है डियर. अभी मैंने वो वर्ड इस्तेमाल नहीं किया और करने का इरादा भी नहीं था, बिकॉज दैट इज अ फाइनेंस टर्म. मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन इज व्हाट द शेयर प्राइस मल्टीप्लाइड बाय द नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स. कहाँ है उसमें? मैं कहता हूं, मैं तुम कह रहे हो जब बिडिंग करने लगते हैं तो कॉस्टिंग कहाँ रहा? वेयर इज कॉस्टिंग? इट इज योर इम्पल्स, इट इज योर क्रेज विच इज गोइंग टू डिसाइड. कितने शेयर होल्डर तुम्हारे नॉलेज में हैं जो पहले कॉस्टिंग निकालते हैं उसके बाद शेयर के प्राइस पर ट्रेड करते हैं? तो फिर वो फील्ड ही नहीं है अपना, वो तो फाइनेंस में पढ़ेंगे. है यू आर इन whether BMS or BFIA, both the places it is their valuation has been put into the paper. Wait for that, I think 5th semester. Okay, बहुत कुछ पढ़ना है. Is it clear? Yes, sir. So cost पे question, anyone has got question on cost? Now based on that there is another term which I have already introduced, but there is a concept called variable cost, fixed cost. ऐसे फिक्स कॉस्ट भी 2 टाइप से होते हैं, फिक्स थ्रू आउट और स्टेप अप एट ए सर्टेन लेवल पे चेंज करता है. वेरिएबल कॉस्ट is the cost which is actually direct in nature, keep on changing as the units changes. So you produce, cost will be there. Fixed cost is your capacity cost, even if you are not producing, but your existence is based on this cost. The moment you are existing, this cost has to be there. Clear? So question is, as a manager, when you are deciding that you should keep on producing or not, how you will decide? To what extent it will go? कैसे पता चलेगा प्रोड्यूस करते रहना चाहिए नहीं करते रहना चाहिए? कम से कम वेरिएबल कॉस्ट तो रिकवर हो. Yes or not? To make the survival in the market, variable cost has to be recovered. And whatever quantum of money which is more than variable cost you are recovering, means instead of revenue minus total cost, if you make revenue minus variable cost, that is called contribution margin. What is called? Contribution margin. That margin is coming. If that margin is bigger than fixed cost, you are in profit. If it is not bigger than fixed cost, you are not in profit. So even if you are not in profit, loss making organization, but you know that loss is temporary in nature. What is temporary loss? That पता है अभी revenue ज़्यादा नहीं हुआ, कोविड हो गया था, या मैं एक नई कंपनी हूँ, अभी मार्केट कैपेसिटी मैंने यूटिलाइज नहीं किया, 50% ऑफ कैपेसिटी रन कर रहे हैं. जैसे ही 70% कैपेसिटी अचीव होगा हमारा, 70% कैपेसिटी के बाद आई विल बी एबल टू मेक प्रॉफिट, क्योंकि फिक्स कॉस्ट तो बदलना नहीं है, 100% कैपेसिटी तक बदलेगा नहीं. And now what will be there? As we are increasing revenue, variable cost increase करेगा, लेकिन variable cost से ज़्यादा revenue मिल रहा है मुझे, so margin increase करता चलेगा. So well in advance we can also decide about it कि what should be our level of production where at least we will be making a point where there will be no loss, no profit, no loss, and that is called BEP. What is that? BEP? Break even point. टारगेट हमारा फर्स्ट टारगेट क्या होगा? ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट, पासिंग मार्क्स, राइट. ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट कम से कम 50 तो लाना ही लाना है ना, थोड़ा सेफर साइड में. उसके बाद फिर आगे कितना ऊपर लेके जाते हैं उसको, दैट्स द वे. सेफ्टी बेल्ट है, दैट्स वी हैव टू डिसाइड. ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट निकालेंगे, कैसे कर सकते हैं, व्हाट वी कैन डू, हाउ वी कैन मेक इट. We can put effort to increase the sales, even little at a differentiated price. What is differentiated price? You may have a fixed price and you are selling different customer at a different price. That is differentiated price. So that you have a margin and you can able to make it. कब तक differentiated price होगा? Till the time your contribution margin is coming to you. Right? एडिशनल सेल से मिल रहा है. यू आर मेकिंग अ चॉकलेट, यू हैव गॉट ए चॉकलेट प्राइस सेट से 10 रुपीज, 10 रुपीज पे सेल कर रहे हैं, बट यू आर ऑपरेटिंग एट 50% ऑफ योर कैपेसिटी. अब पता नहीं चला, you have still not got a profit level because your capacity cost is high. Some NGO approached you. An NGO said that we want to distribute, we have got a function, we want to distribute to orphans and to others chocolate. Clear? एक regular activity में. But we don't want to buy at your 10 rupees price from the market. Can you sell us at 7 rupees? Bulk में order दे रहे हैं आपको. Now it is a question of decision whether you should go for or not. So how you will decide? You will first look into your variable cost. If your variable cost is less than 7 rupees and your capacity is available to you, go ahead with that. Right or not? जो भी बनेगा, अगर 1 रुपया मार्जिन भी आ रहा है तो वो आपके फिक्स कॉस्ट को कवर करता चलेगा. So break even point is very, very important. This is now look into that. You can before start of your business, you can start planning कि किस लेवल पे आप कौन सी strategy adopt कर सकते हो. If you know level of costing, how you are going to change, right? Now one more exercise is that whatever you had thought of, okay, this is going to be your cost, will it be really that much cost will be there, or sometime cost may vary? I thought that 2000 unit will be produced and sold, 2000 has not been sold, or even might be possible 2000 was not able to get produced, but fixed cost will be there. Fixed cost, you don't have a a choice. So fixed cost will be there. How you will be making that fixed cost? You should reach it. And now at the end of the period, you have a big challenge how to work out. The entire one unit is dedicated to it. So first of all, we will talk about one very important concept, and that concept is called budgeting. What we will prepare? Cost budget before doing. अब देखो चैप्टर धीरे धीरे चैप्टर खुल रहा है, आपके नए नए चैप्टर बनते चले जा रहे हैं. अरे कॉस्ट तो निकाल लिया, बट करने के बाद ना, मुझे तो करने से पहले चाहिए. अब आपको प्रोडक्शन से पहले प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट मालूम होना चाहिए मुझे, प्लीज. प्रोडक्शन से पहले प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट पता होना चाहिए. एंड आई विल प्रिपेयर एग्जैक्टली वॉट एवर द फॉर्मेट इज, everything will be there, and that will be called as budgeted cost sheet. और जब budgeted cost sheets will be available to you, then you will start putting your real figures as you progress with. Do you feel 100% it will match? No. There will be deviation. Right or not?
Yes, sir.
And that deviation is measured through variance. An entire one big question, full question will come to you in exam, cost variance analysis, CVA. अब आप क्या करोगे? बजट बनाओगे, अब कहोगे सर स्टैंडर्ड लगाएंगे कैसे, वह एक कंफ्यूजन सा क्रिएट होगा. लेकिन एक ब्रेन में आप पहले एक बिजनेसमैन पर्सन की तरह सोचो. बिजनेस पर्सन की तरह क्या सोचेंगे कि एक्चुअली आई हैड थॉट ऑफ, एंड देन आई एम लुकिंग इनटू वेयर माय डेविएशन इज देयर. डेविएशन मे बी पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव. Right or not? Either side deviation could be taking place. And variance, by definition, basic statistics you must have covered. You know that it is a square form, and a square form is negative or positive, all make its variance. Right? So that chapter will talk about your budgeted cost, that will talk about standard cost, and that will talk about actual cost. 3 different kind of cost will be there. What are those 3 costs? Budgeted cost, a standard cost, actual cost. What is difference between budgeted cost and a standard cost? Any one of you? Please. What is difference between budgeted cost and a standard cost? Actual तो मैं बता दूंगा. Right? आप लोग budgeted versus standard बताओ. Budgeted is actually depending upon your scenario how much cost is going to be, that is budgeted. A standard what ought to be, क्या होना चाहिए वो स्टैंडर्ड है, क्या होने की संभावना आपके इन्वायरमेंट में है, दैट इज बजटेड, और क्या फाइनली हुआ, एक्चुअल, राइट. That's the way productivity is decided. A standard, again, determination of a standard cost is based on lot of experiments and other things, right. Even we prepare question paper, and at that point of time we were very careful that how much time a student required to write that answer. And that is, we create, actually we estimate that time depending upon a standard way of writing, yes or not. So, a standard how much it will be, and when we look into between 2 hours to 2.5 hours, if a student can write comfortably, we give 3 hours of time. That is a normal way. Someone may be very intelligent, quick, fast writing, calculation without delay calculation has made, may complete the paper less than 2 hours of time, very much possible. So, look into this is a productivity, and accordingly it is set. Every environment it is prepared like that. So, a standard costing, budgeted and actual. It may be because of 3 reasons again. It may be because of time variance. अब यहाँ से फिर और पैरामीटर लेके सेपरेट हो जाओ, आपका टाइम ज़्यादा लग गया प्रोडक्शन में, और ज़्यादा टाइम लगेगा तो ज़्यादा कंज्यूम करेगा, ज़्यादा रिसोर्सेज यूज होंगे. तो दैट कुड बी बिकॉज ऑफ टाइम, maybe because of raw material variance. Why it is raw material variance? Because maybe labor variance, raw material variance, time variance, or overhead variance. Either of these are going to take care of the entire things. So, whenever we consider what is labor variance, whatever quantum of labor we have decided, more than that got or less than that got required, so is the raw material. Now, from here, not in the cost accounting, but certainly another discipline of the management appears, especially in the inventory management we take care of those things in a greater way. Production operation management we take care of that, and that is called wastage management. There could be wastages also. Wastage has got a huge cost. So, if something has to be cost effective, one has to be very clear that wastage should not be there. Minimize the wastage. Whatever way is that, wastage should get minimized. So, it is a very important is the moment we talk about what do you mean by wastage, there are 2 types of wastage. First wastage is that you are ineffectively producing the things, so you are unnecessarily spilling it out or wasting that resource, wasting the material resource, wasting the labor resource. I can finish the task in 10 minutes of time, but 3 minutes I am just gossiping, and 2 minutes I am thinking I have to prepare that work. So, ultimately how much time I consume to prepare that complete work? 15 minutes, 50% cost has hiked. मैं 6 राउंड 1 घंटे में तैयार कर सकता था, मैं सिर्फ 4 राउंड तैयार किया, 4 बार प्रोड्यूस किया. मेरा जो व्हील है, दैट इज कॉल्ड बिजनेस साइकिल और प्रोडक्शन साइकिल, हैज बीन स्लोअर. होता है ना. So, it is that deviation could be possible. Second, please excuse me. Second important point is that that's a wastage is one side wastage, raw material wastage or labor wastage. Raw material, you require 2 kg of material, but unnecessarily you are spilling and you are taking 2.1 kg or 2.2 kg of material, 10% material consumption has been high. गिर रहा है, फैल रहा है, बर्बाद हो रहा है, जितना चाहिए उससे ज़्यादा आप कंज्यूम कर रहे हो. That is one type of wastage. Unnecessarily, excessively you are using. Be very careful, and I am trying to make you very understand that these are not only a subject, these should be habit to become a very good successful in future. These are that learning I am trying to invite you. Now, when you consider, so that is one kind of wastage. आपने टाइम ज़्यादा लगा दिया, स्पेस ज़्यादा चाहिए आपको, आपने फैला दिया पूरा। दूसरा वेस्टेज जो सबसे डेंजरस वेस्टेज है, इससे भी ज़्यादा डेंजरस है, आपने बनाया और वो खराब बना दिया। दैट्स अ डिफेक्टिव प्रोडक्ट। कंज्यूम द रिसोर्सेज, मेड द रिसोर्सेज, बट अल्टीमेटली इट इज ए डिफेक्टिव प्रोडक्ट। तो अब तो ये तो इससे बड़ा वेस्टेज हो गया कि जो आपने कंज्यूम किया वो भी बर्बाद हो गया, सारा सब कुछ हो गया। एंड दैट्स अ बिग चैलेंज। Actually, a good number of countries are working effectively on that so that they can reduce the cost of production by controlling both kind of wastages. And it can't be after production, it has to be pre-production decision related to how you have to approach. And that's why costing is one concept, but it is applicable to all, and everyone has to be sensitized with this costing factor. And that is the term now I am going to introduce called quality. What the word we use? Quality. And there is a very important chapter available to you, and that is called quality costing. Anyone can define quality, I will be happy, because I know I am talking to intelligent lot, and especially on the back side who has got their own talk. What is quality? How to define quality? A common word I think you have heard from your beginning of the school time, but I need a very scientific definition of quality. Please, galaxy of intelligence is sitting here, let me have that feel. Okay, instead of wasting time, I request you to jot down the definition of quality. Conformation of a specification is called quality. CONFORMATION, conformation of a specification is called quality. Right? What is conformation? It's agreement. Am I clear? Conformation of a specification is called quality. Now, when we talk about conformation, I am writing here. Okay, first let me have some fun also to go ahead with this definition. Yes, you have some question? Okay, tell me, Maruti 800 or Maruti Alto is a good quality or Mercedes is a good quality? Yes? Mercedes is a good quality. Maruti 800 is not a good, or Maruti Alto is not a good quality. Do you agree? You also say that way? आप सबसे आगे बैठिए बोलो. Yes. Sorry dear. दोनों quality है. It's a unnecessary comparison is there, and that is basically non-professional approach to understand quality. Clear? This is the first biggest blunder we have been fed in our brain. Maruti 800 or Alto or any of that is also good quality, Mercedes is also good quality, there is no comparison. Apple is better or banana is better? Yes or not? Your preference could be different. Clear? So इसका मतलब आपने definition समझा नहीं था. What is important is that how to check that whether Maruti Alto is a quality or not. So ask them what is your specification of Maruti Alto. Take that specification list, length, width, height, engine capacity, sitting arrangement, leg space, roof height, all those features, mileage, okay, all those features you take about, what kind of other facilities they have got, what kind of stereo they are giving you, all those things you just take that, and then you compare your product whether it is actually meeting or not. Is it clear or not? If that specification is not met, it is defective. मर्सिडीज है इसलिए आप मारुति को डिफेक्टिव नहीं कह सकते. Am I clear? And those important aspects, whenever we compare, so first what is required? What is the conclusion out of this entire definition is you must have got certain specification well in advance. A bungalow is also there and 1 bedroom flat is also there. 1 bedroom flat को bungalow से compare करने की जरूरत नहीं है. हमें क्वालिटी देखना है कि उसने जो स्पेसिफिकेशन दिया है वो दे रहा है या नहीं दे रहा है. राइट और नॉट? उसने कहा था कि भाई किचन में स्लैब बना के देंगे, तो वो देख लो ना किचन में स्लैब बना हुआ है या नहीं बना हुआ है, वहां चेक करो. उसने अगर कहा है कि भाई नीचे आपको एक छोटा सा 2 व्हीलर पार्क करने का गैरेज दे रहे हैं, तो वो चेक कर लो गैरेज मिल रहा है या नहीं मिल रहा है. बिकॉज स्पेसिफिकेशन से कंफर्म करना है. यहां पे अब कॉस्टिंग इशू आता है. 3 different levels of specifications could be there. One is necessary for the product, another is promotion for the product, third one is compliance for the product. Necessary for the product वो तो चाहिए ही चाहिए प्रोडक्ट को, और अगर थोड़ा भी उसमें गड़बड़ हो रहा है प्रोडक्ट के स्पेसिफिकेशन में, तो इट कुड बी इवन ए क्रिमिनल ऑफेंस. Yes or not? You can go and put a legal case on the seller कि भाई आपने बोला कुछ और था, दिया कुछ और है. Clear? It is your actual requirement that is there, that is needed. No one can compromise on that. It's a legally required. Promotional क्या होता है? पैकेजिंग वगैरह कवर हो जाता है. How you are going to offer that? That is also very much part of it. Just yesterday I came from outside. So in one of restaurant, a person was fighting for some reason. I said, what? I just started monitoring. It was in a restaurant, and a material food item, it was a sweet, was given in a bowl which was of plastic made. And person must be very environmental sensitive. We don't mind it. We always look only rasmalai, not the container. Right? But that person becomes sensitive. How you are giving into this? फिर वो थोड़ा सा हुआ कि we are also sensitive. So this has been for a sugar cane product से बना है. It is not plastic. All those. फिर वो अपना डायरी निकाला, वो एक फाइल निकाला, फाइल दिखाया, and then that person got convinced. So understand what is very important is that presentation. It is not that और रसमलाई का स्वाद तो बाद में आएगा. उस मेकअप पे तो बाद में जाएंगे, पहले तो वो कंटेनर पे ही झगड़ा कर बैठा. How you are going to give in this one? So what I am trying to point out is that is basically an important aspect, how you are going to meet the product. And third one is that whatever legal compliances are there, even this example which I gave you is a part of legal compliance. Whether we are accepting, not accepting is a separate aspect. But 1st April has already come. No jewelers can sell the jewelry product now onward without that given digit hallmark. No one can sell. It is a legal compulsion, and they can be put behind bar because of that. So these are the certain aspects we have to look. But cost will increase because of that. आपको करना है काम, comply करना है, so that compliances could be set. Another compliances in manufacturing is like your wastage is coming out, and you have to put a processing unit for wastage, which is not adding value to your product. आपका जो प्रोडक्ट बन गया, उसका जो कॉस्ट है, अब आप एडेड उससे जो वेस्टेज निकला, उस वेस्टेज को कवर कर रहे हो, that processing is another cost. So of course innovation is right now going on how you can use a revenue generating unit from that also. That is a separate exercise, but certainly these are the certain dimensions of the cost which has to be viewed upon. Now I'll request you to you all to have a look of your syllabus, and you will find out that whatever I was talking about is a part of the syllabus. Entire dimension has been there, and various approaches like overhead allocation and a standard costing or various cost methods. Cost methods I'll explain little while, but you please have a look of your syllabus, and you feel that now you are comfortable, no term is there which is alien to you, I will be happy. Can you see the syllabus quickly? You have syllabus available to you, so that I can quickly have a look of the syllabus. No syllabus is available to you? No, this means you are not ready to be a manager, to be very honest. सिलेबस तो आपके एडमिशन के वक्त आपको दे दिया था, यूनिवर्सिटी के वेबसाइट पे सेकंड सेमेस्टर का भी था सिलेबस, और यूनिवर्सिटी के साइट पे अवेलेबल है सिलेबस, थर्ड सेमेस्टर का भी सिलेबस अवेलेबल हो चुका है, और आप लोग सेकंड सेमेस्टर का नहीं मिल रहा है, तो देयर इज अ चैलेंज. इसका मतलब आप लोग सिर्फ उठ के चले आए हो. ऐसे मैनेजर नहीं बनेंगे आप फिर. प्लीज. Anyway, in the meantime, you take out. I had to cross check how much sensitively you have been prepared to come to the class, but somehow I am doubtful. I'll take this quality talk further. Then I'll talk to you about cost methodology, and that will complete my 360-degree talk related to what this cost and management accounting is. Management word is always there, which basically talks that how to reduce the deviation, what to put your effort, because wherever we are using the word measurements, we are using the word calculation. At that point of time, we have to make sure that it should meet whatever the previous budget has been specified. Reduce the variances, that is what our objective is. मिल गया syllabus? और देखो इधर से, अब आप syllabus मिल गया. See my magic, standing in 2 minutes of time, I am making syllabus available to you, right? Anyone who has yet not got syllabus? अब कोई नहीं, देखो निकालो मोबाइल अपना. अच्छा, नेट नहीं आ रहा? ओके फाइन, तो आप लोग आइडिया वाले हैं. प्लीज, एनीवे, प्लीज कम टू द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. One more important point I wanted to discuss related to quality costing, because those are the new aspect which we have to understand. Excuse me, that you check afterward. You will find out, I think, in unit 3 last quality costing. किस में क्वालिटी कॉस्टिंग लास्ट में है देखना, तो यूनिट 3 या यूनिट 4 है? यूनिट 4 सबसे लास्ट, और वही लास्ट यूनिट भी होगा. यूनिट 5 लास्ट है. ओके, यूनिट 5 में है, राइट. सो इन क्वालिटी, एक्सक्यूज मी प्लीज. नाउ व्हाट इज दैट? अगर डिफेक्टिव हो गया प्रोडक्ट, तो यू हैव टू हैव अ कंप्लीट वेस्टेज, राइट? So can it be possible you can manage in such a way that you are always producing a good quality? And when you are producing good quality, so what are the various quality dimensions and how to manage that quality and the cost associated to managing that quality, maintaining that quality is what quality costing. So in the beginning itself, you are making sure you are defining procedures, you are defining the components, you are defining the checks, establishing it in your system, and ultimately you know that it has to be filtered through these routes to ultimately go as a quality product. So those routes, those filters you are applying is not a part of production, it is a part of check. कि हर बार यूनिट जाएगा, पहले चेक होगा, चेक होने के बाद वापस आएगा. तो आप एक प्रोसेस जो डिजाइन कर रहे हो, आपका कॉस्ट इंक्रीज कर रहा है, लेकिन वो आने वाले टाइम के लिए कॉस्ट बचा रहा है. Is it clear? That is the way you are talking about quality costing. Normally quality costing पे अभी आपके theoretical question होंगे, because India is yet to advance to that extent of quality costing. The only one philosophy which I share, that for quality costing, every individual has to be quality conscious, and for becoming quality conscious, they should be aware of what quality is, how to maintain a quality. Without that adherence, it can't be possible that you will be able to manage the quality. तो क्वालिटी को कैसे देखते हैं, कैसे मेजर करते हैं? क्वालिटी आर ऑफ 2 टाइप्स, प्रोडक्ट क्वालिटी एंड प्रोसेस क्वालिटी. आई एम अगेन रिपीटिंग, क्वालिटी आर ऑफ 2 टाइप्स, प्रोडक्ट क्वालिटी एंड process quality. What is product quality and what is process quality and how it has to be measured is a good challenge. So listen 5 minutes very carefully to finish it off, the quality component. Excuse me, and might be possible whatever I am discussing is the quality part is in complete exercise, which you may require to write a short notes on the quality, and that short notes on the quality has to be covered up. So some questions has already been short notes kind of things, or for internal test a good number of questions I have already covered. At least 7-8 questions I have covered today in internal test. Clear? So, how it has to be set? First, quality at two levels, product quality and process quality. Both the quality are checked on the product. So, first question is how to check quality. Quality is always passively checked. Listen very carefully. Quality is always passively checked. Passive check of quality means it will be always the defect which has to be checked, not the quality. पैसिव चेक का मतलब क्या हो गया? आप क्या चेक करोगे? डिफेक्ट ढूंढोगे. अगर किसी प्रोडक्ट में अगर मैं कहूं ये क्वालिटी प्रोडक्ट है या नहीं है, तो मैं इसमें डिफेक्ट ढूंढना शुरू करूंगा. अगर डिफेक्ट नहीं मिलेगा तो क्या होगा? क्वालिटी है. क्लियर? जैसे हेल्दी पर्सन भी क्वालिटी है, और हेल्दी पर्सन कौन है? जो बीमार नहीं है. तो बीमारी के चेक्स हैं, और वो चेक्स आप देख लो. टेम्परेचर, प्रेशर, ब्लड का कंडीशन सब चेक करने के बाद फाइनली एक कंक्लूजन निकला कि नो, ही इज ए हेल्दी पर्सन. एग्जैक्टली क्वालिटी इज द सेम वे. व्हेन यू चेक अबाउट दैट क्वालिटी मीन्स यू आर लुकिंग इनटू डिफेक्ट. एंड वेयर यू विल लुक इनटू डिफेक्ट? ऑलवेज ऑन प्रोडक्ट. Looking defect on product. Product is fine, conforming whatever is required. I said it should be 7.3 mm. It is 7.3 mm. It is quality. In the beginning we may decide about, that is a separate exercise altogether, कि 7.3 mm कह रहे हैं, अब 7.303 हो गया, तो इसको accept करें या ना करें. और that is depending upon different level of acceptance. और इसी में आप जानते हो कि सबसे पहले अपना ISI है, उसके बाद ISO है, उससे और ऊपर बढ़ोगे कई हैं. एक है 6 सिग्मा है, नाम सुना होगा 6 सिग्मा का? नहीं, 6 सिग्मा नोट तो कर सकते हैं टर्म आप लोग. 6 सिग्मा है, और उसके बाद एक है ZD, दैट इज जीरो डिफेक्ट. मीन 7.3 है तो 7.3000000 होगा, न कि 7.2999999 नहीं हो सकता. 7.3 means 7.3. Okay, that is zero defect. Country like Japan has already reached to that quality level, where there are millions of products they are producing and without any defect. Now that is product defect में आप product को defect करेंगे. How process defect will be checked? In a given lot, say a lot is there, lots productions are taking place, lot of productions are there, and in a given lot, let's say one product is defective. That is a product defect. You replace only the product. But suppose in a particular lot the entire series is defective. Every series is a defect. Then it is a process defect. So process defect will always be a series defect, whereas product defect will be a unit product defect. जैसे आपको सबसे सिंपलेस्ट एग्जाम्पल जो आप लोग डे टू डे लाइफ में फील भी किए होंगे, I am reminding you so that you can visualize this defect and quality. You must have gone for photocopy of your document. अब अगर photocopy आप करवा रहे हो, photocopy करवाते वक्त you have got a black dot on your photocopy. पेज निकल रहा है, black dot आ गया. Dot is a defect. Black spot, black ink क्यों छोड़ रहा है वो वहाँ? Now आपने 20 पेजेस करवाए फोटोकॉपी, बट सिर्फ एक पेज पे ब्लैक डॉट आ गया. दिस इज अ प्रोडक्ट डिफेक्ट, बिकॉज ऑफ सम रीजन इट हैज बीन देयर. बट 20 के 20 पेज पे अगर उसी पॉइंट पे अगर डॉट आ रहा है, इसका मतलब ये प्रोसेस डिफेक्टिव है. मशीन रिक्वायर्स कैलिब्रेशन. आर यू गेटिंग हाउ टू इवैल्यूएट दैट थिंग? आप कह सकते हो साहब आपका मशीन खराब है, मशीन ठीक करवाओ. इज इट क्लियर? Lot of that examples could be there. Suppose you go for refilling of your vehicle fuel. आपने कहा कि हमें 1 लीटर ऑयल दे दो, 1 लीटर पेट्रोल ले रहे हो, उसने 9999 ml करके दे दिया, तो 999 ml या 999.99 दिया, 1 लीटर पूरा नहीं किया, 1000 नहीं किया पूरा. There is a defect. This is a defect. That defect has to be taken care of. कैसे टेकन केयर ऑफ दोज इन अ ड्यू प्रोसेस वी विल कीप ऑन डिस्कसिंग. तो हैव यू कम अक्रॉस विद द न्यूज़ व्हेन अ कार मेकर or automobile company recall their vehicle for some replacement? Is it for product defect or process defect? Process defect, not for product defect. प्रोडक्ट डिफेक्ट सिर्फ एक कस्टमर का होगा, कुछ कस्टमर का होगा. बात स्टार्ट होती है प्रोडक्ट डिफेक्ट से and it reaches to process defect. When they start, somebody will complain first. It might be possible company can on their own can also come across with those information, but generally a customer will complain, they will analyze that on complaint, and then they visualize that it is not a product defect, it is a process defect. It must be there in some other one. Sometimes silently they replace it. How silently they replace it? They inform all their service stations. And what service station does? They replace that. Like few years back, what had happened? Honda City had got, there is a defect in a system of door lock, and that defect was there. What they did, they didn't inform the customer. They informed that entire service centers, and series was known, which series has got problem. The moment series reached to that service station for service, they replaced it on their own, because they are not going to charge you. And after replacement, it is written replacement, 00 price is also there. And how to realize that this vehicle has got already replacement? They put some red color somewhere inside, a dot, which they know the moment it will go next time to the next service station, they will see that color and they know that it has already been replaced. That's the way they maintain it. So process quality has to be there. Now, what is your objective? Don't commit these kind of mistakes in your production, and be very sure that you are very cautious into your quality production, so that next time when the production comes out, it is not defective, because later on it is going to be very, very costly to you. You will be paying to that replacement cost, understand, to those service stations, labor charges, everything. Kyun aisi galti karna? That is quality costing. It is coming. Additionally, we have got direct costing, indirect costing, ABC costing, target costing, so many costing exercises are there. That is very, very important. I am not going to talk about direct costing, indirect costing, activity based costing, because these portions will be discussed in detail. Traditionally, it has been discussed. What is most important, which is not discussed, is the target costing. Quality costing, I am in a reverse order. Quality costing, the one of the toughest, hardly people discuss, that I discussed first. Now I am going to have the target costing. What is target costing? This is the last part of my talk, so be very careful. और बहुत से कॉमन बुक में ये सब जल्दी नहीं मिलेगा, अब तो अवेलेबल है, बट आप इसको ध्यान से सुन लें. Target costing, as we say, there are two approaches of costing for price determination. First approach is you would calculate your entire cost of production, put a profit margin on that, and after that your price of the product will come out. So price is a derivative of the costs. Price is a derivative of the cost. Derivative of the cost means पहले कैलकुलेट किया, मेरा मटेरियल इतने का लगा, लेबर इतना लगा, ओवरहेड इतना लगा, इतने ये हुआ, अल्टीमेटली एक अमाउंट एक्स अमाउंट बन गया, मुझे 25% मार्जिन चाहिए, 1.25x प्राइस बन गया. क्लियर? दिस कॉन्सेप्ट इज कॉल्ड कॉस्ट प्लस कॉन्सेप्ट. क्या वर्ड यूज करते हैं हम? कॉस्ट प्लस कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ प्राइस डिटर्मिनेशन. बट देयर कुड बी पॉसिबल कि आपने जो प्राइस डिटरमिन किया, कस्टमर इज नॉट इन ए पोजिशन टू बाय. हो सकता है ना, योर कॉस्ट इज हाई. सेकेंड, you may be inefficient, that's why your cost of production is high. So there could be another way also, in which what you do, you first look upon that how much a customer can pay. Paying capacity, purchasing power of a customer is to be viewed, and after looking into purchasing power, you determine a price. देखिए पहले प्राइस डिटरमिन कर लो, आप इतने पे बेचना, price you determine, you don't know cost. And now once price has been determined, a specification has been made, a new challenge appears to you. If you are a manager, you are an engineer, you are a production head, it is a challenge to you that you have to complete your production with given quality, given a specification within that price. Best example of target costing in India in 2003, it started nano car. Have you heard the nano car?
Yes, sir.
Which initially first declared the price, and it was 1 lakh rupees, 100,000 rupees. And after that, entire thrust, entire management, entire costing started working into such a way that not only within 1 lakh rupees you have to produce a car, you have to make some profit margin to make yourself sustainable. Right? This is a classical case study. This nano car case study had been discussed in Harvard Business School, London School. They all read through because it was a so damn cheap, no entire world the cheapest car. पूरे world का सबसे cheapest car बना. It has got a huge credit. Somehow because of political reasons and all other and poor product placement, in सब के कारण that car was not that grand success in India, but in Geneva, in European market, it had been huge success. Okay. Now question arises that target costing, how it has to be set. That target costing means first you decide the price and accordingly reverse order you make your costing. It's a challenge, it's a tough task, and mind it, not compromising the quality. Quality can't be compromised. You have to make sure that your specification has been met and your all the whatever the quality parameters are there that you are complying with, then only you will be able to make. Why it is needed? Why target costing is needed? Is it not only because of your domestic market, even because of making your product globally possible? Global competition, that's the last portion on the target costing I am sharing with you. Global competition, there is a concept called international pricing. वहाँ चाइना भी आपके साथ कंपेयर कर रहा है. आप मार्कर बेचोगे मेड इन इंडिया, चाइना भी बेचेगा मेड इन चाइना, ताइवान भी बेचेगा, जर्मन भी बेचेगा, जापान भी बेचेगा, कोरिया भी बेचेगा. Now question is, are you able to sell at the cheaper rate without compromising quality? And then it becomes a complete reverse order of exercise, how to make sure that you are so quality conscious that your target price, whatever has been set, you are able to meet it. I am very happy to share with you that some of Indian software companies are really globally competitive, and TCS is the leader in that. TCS is leader in that. सबको पीछे छोड़ देता है वो, इतने लो प्राइस पे बिड करता है. And next is Adani is also there. Adani also in international way it is leading into it. India में unnecessarily it is too much of the political hue and cry is there without understanding what exactly the fact is, who can compete, who can't compete. No understanding is there. So many global tendering had taken place where entire globe has participated, but recently, even African, trade where American, European, Indian, Adani also met, and ultimately Adani got that order. Nothing to do with the Indian environment. So much of the international business opportunity is coming to them just because of their approach, their way of handling the entire things, so that their price is lower with the same specification, which others are not able to compete. So this is what I am summarizing what we discussed in the beginning, entire 2 hours in 2 minutes of time, and then we will wind up. We started with the concept of cost and management accounting. My objective to discuss to you was why we need this subject, what are the ingredients of this subject, what are the tenets, facets and components of this subject, starting from unit 1 to last unit, various aspects, various terminology we discussed. We started that there had been 4 factors of production which has to be paid, and then we looked upon which factor has to be paid, how much was depending upon their relative importance, which has got better contribution, more important contribution, they will be paid more. Accordingly, we further move to that what is the normal business objective. So profit maximization is objective, and profit is nothing but revenue minus cost. So either you increase revenue or decrease cost, and decreasing cost will be possible only when you know the cost and cost components, various tenets of the cost. So, when I started discussing time also, I focused time is very, very important segment. Time cost is very important cost, and then other factors, other resources are there, and how those resources has to be controlled for making an cost effective approach. Whenever we say effective means minimum wastages, I discussed two types of wastage also. Wastage during production and very product itself is a wastage. Both the cases there, and we have to be careful for both the cases, how we should improve. Why technology is important? Because ultimately during the process whatever wastages are there, those should be removed. And why quality is our concern? Quality is a care, because that will reduce the possibility of product itself is becoming waste. Right, that is the way we decided. Traditional concept of direct costing, indirect costing, and ABC costing. ABC stands for activity based costing, and others are there which you will study in detail. That's are there. We talked about budgeting also, that budget has to be prepared. That is a cost budget, and that cost budget will ultimately take you whether you are whatever cost you are going to incur is right or wrong, means higher or lower. If higher is there, give the explanation why it is, and start acting upon how to control those high cost. Clear? There has been a how much is to be there, how you will decide what ought to be your budget. So, there is a standard costing concept. A standard costing will decide how much cost ought to be. So, these are the various aspects we started discussing. We also discussed variable cost and fixed cost. Now, in length and in detail you have to study, and you have to make a variable cost graph also, because here also the graph in economics also you study, and in costing also here you study. Okay. So, this is the way we started with, we continued, and finally I detailed you the quality costing and target costing, because these two are right now not too much of numerical in nature in Indian academic environment, but practically very, very important, and Japanese economy is actually leader into both the case. So, this is the way it has been. So, I am stopping here, and if you have any question you are welcome, otherwise we will meet next time. Okay? Thank you. Thanks a lot.